Ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
A friend of the show, been up here several times. We really enjoy his music. His name is Lecrae. Give it up for him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
God's favorite rapper. You know
No,
what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
No?
I hate when people have the phrase, as you know, I love Clark Kent, God's favorite blank, which, by the way, is not Lecrae's actual moniker. That's called Ebro being a douche nozzle. I'm afraid it doesn't make sense because no one really knows what God's favorite would be.
I mean, Lecrae's pretty up there, man. He's on top. He's top 5.
God could be like, I only listen to like Yachty and new hip hop.
That's blaspheming. What you just did.
No, he might be like, I don't like 90s hip hop. That's just dumb, boring to me.
Man.
We don't know what phase God's in musically right now. He's been hearing 90s shit since the 90s.
I think there's a special place in his heart for the golden era.
Golden era? You'd like
so?
to think so.
You like to think so?
But we don't know.
Lecrae, what's going on, bro?
Man, all's well, man. You know what I'm saying? On the road, touring, you know what I'm saying? And
We got new music today?
new music, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, you know, we building something, you know what I'm saying? So the album is it's coming around. Been in the studio for a long time, long time. You know, writing books and touring and
What are you writing books about?
did a memoir, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was a New York Times bestseller, so it was dope. Just, you know, talking about life and my experiences, and then now trying to put this album together and get it going, you know what I'm saying, for the next year.
Have you gotten to album title name yet?
I don't got a
Have you
name
gotten
yet,
there
man.
yet?
I don't got a name. I'm hoping that it'll all come together. It's so, I'm in the studio with all kind of different people making, I'm like 50 songs in, so I don't really know what I'm gonna call it just yet.
Your first, not your first album, but Anomaly, the album that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, was a lot of introspective. I mean, you know, speaking from a military perspective, speaking from your life, speaking from your drug addiction, speaking from just being American, your spiritual aspects, et cetera, et cetera. What direction on this album?
I think Anomaly is me trying to figure out, not figure out, but like, yo, I'm confident in who I am, and let me tell you, I'm confident in who I am, but this album is like me just living it. So it's like, I'm way more comfortable. I wasn't quite comfortable. I was still trying to figure myself out a little bit on Anomaly, and so it kind of it was a little schizophrenic, but it was, the songs that were dope, but now I feel like I'm me. You know what I mean?
So how are you doing? You're like less than 3 months removed from your DJ and your dear friend DJ Official passing away. Rest in peace, Official. Tell us about going through that and where you're at with it right now.
It was a hella hard year, a hella hard time. You know, he was you know, he came up out here and from New York, taught us a lot. You know, really got us squared away. Came up under like, you know, Just Blaze and all those dudes. So he was a dope producer as well. And he was getting a lung transplant, so I went to the hospital to go visit him and just kind of check up on him. And it was crazy to be sitting there, and the doctors came in. And it was like, yeah, he's not coming back. From the,
and he had a lot of health stuff, right?
A lot of health
so
issues.
did you get to the point where you start to think he gets sick, he goes through something, and then he bounces back?
Yeah, like we talked every day, and so it was kind of.
So you're used to it, and like he's going to figure this out too.
Yeah, I had a reminder on my phone. It's 148 days old because I still let it go off to pray for Fish, because that was the day he was going in for his transplant, you know, or when he knew he was going to get it. So we was all excited, and it just turned out, you know, he didn't make it back.
It's crazy. I know that you had talked to Cypher Sounds around that time because Cypher and him came up in Long Island together.
Yeah.
So Cypher told me he was just completely blown away because he'd known this guy forever, really talented producer, and he got credit. He produced a bunch of that album, right?
Yeah, he produced. He taught us what a live show looked like. Taught us about how to interact with the crowd. I mean, just, you know, everything he learned, he doused on it.
So how do you I mean, you can't replace him, but how do you fill the shoes and move forward now with everything you're doing?
Yeah, you don't really. I mean, shout out to my DJ now, DJ Promote. Shout out to everybody who uses a real DJ.
Facts.
Wow.
Fact though.
The fact that you gotta shout that out is crazy.
Wow. That's a fact though.
But yeah, but you know, he's beast mode as well, and man, it's just, you know, we pick up the pieces, man. So I do a tribute to him every night on tour, and you know, we move forward, man.
I think, I don't know if it was a Huffington Post, it was an interview that you did, you talked about PTSD, and it was a conversation that I had with a couple of my friends too, who suffer with that, but that's something people, especially younger people, don't like to talk about too much. Do you go into this in your memoir, or do you talk about this more in your music in this new project?
Nah, I mean, on an album, the album's like, some of it, I was wrestling through that. Some people are like, what are you talking about PTSD? But I had a lot going on in my life, and then every time I turn on television, another young black man or woman gets murdered. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't just sit there and watch that over and over and over again. And then on top of that, you have a contingency of your fan base who just doesn't understand and want to argue with you about it all day when you speak out about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I'm a snap on somebody in a minute if we don't get this, if I don't get this all figured out.
What aspects are they trying to argue with you about?
Man. You want me to answer for you?
Well, no, I wanted him to say it, and then we can go down the path of having
it. It was rhetorical. You know what he's going to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Come on,
tell us.
I mean, obviously it's always, wait till the facts come out over and over again. And then I think it's like there's no empathy. It's kind of like, I got people in my family. I got Alton Sterlings in my family. I got Philandos in my, I know these people. I interact with people like this all the time. So you probably don't know anybody like this. You just can't imagine. It's like no sympathy. You just looking at their criminal record or whatever, and not looking at them as a human being, like a cousin, an uncle, a nephew, a sister.
That's a really poignant thing I think you just said, though, because there's a few levels of it. Yes, there's people who are always just waiting to get the guilty information. They want to feel justified in saying they didn't do, and you're right. They see the criminal record. Yeah. And for a lot of people who don't have family that are from low income environments, they don't realize that you might have a family member you love who's been arrested 25 times. They don't think about it. They think that means they're a horrible human being. They don't realize it's that's Uncle Joe. He's just never quite pulled his ish together. We love him. When he comes around, we trust him. He's a great dude, but his hustles have never quite worked out.
Or they live in a neighborhood that has dickhead cops. Or they live in a small town somewhere, small town Walmart, USA, in a predominantly black city with dickhead white cops who don't even live in that city, who commute into that city and just are hard assholes every day, and people are tired of it. You right? So then you end up getting a criminal record because you get tired of getting fucked with every day, right? So you have resisting on there, you have inciting different shit on your record that's really not that bad, but it's just little knick-knack. It
adds up.
And Tupac said that. That's what the same thing Tupac said. He's like, man, we got to live with the criminals too. They in our backyard too. When the police put on all the riot gear and they come into the neighborhood, who they coming to get? They coming to get somebody that we scared of too. You know what I'm saying? Dude that live in 4A, that's a killer. I'm scared of him too. So I got to do it. I got to make sure my family's protected, and I'm not trying to be, part of the criminal element, but I got to think about all that. You look at a city like Chicago where you got the amount of people of a quarter sitting on top of the landscape of a dime, it's going to be chaos. And they don't have no opportunities, no way, no outlets.
And on top of that, when we've talked about it on this program, Chicago specifically, and it's happening with gentrification and different things around the country, where people are getting displaced from other neighborhoods that had generational issues, right? Gangs, whatever, and they all get put into one section of town all together, and we act like that's not going to
they're gonna scrap.
have some friction. I want to keep going down that path with you because I also see you very vocal about what's happening with the Dakota Access Pipeline. Over the weekend, right? You had the guys that had the 40-day standoff at the Wilderness Reserve in Oregon, right? They had weapons, had a standoff with the federal government with weapons, get put in jail.
In a federal building, right? Weren't they trying to take over a federal building?
It was like a wildlife reserve, but it was federal land, right? It was the government's land that they were like, look, no, you can't take this or whatever, and we're going to commandeer this. Anyway, they had a standoff. Same weekend, or this has been going on longer than the weekend. It's probably been going on several months at this point. You have Native Americans who are on their own land, and they're getting disrespected by the state government that just wants to start drilling, and the federal government hasn't stepped in, and you get people getting arrested and being treated like criminals on their own land. But I saw you being very vocal about that. How's that make you feel as an American?
It's just it's irony to me, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's ironic, in a city like New York City, right? It's places you can't build, you can't nail a picture into your wall because it's a historic site. But the actual natives from this place don't get that same honor. Leave this place alone. It's historic. These people are from here. You know what I mean? So it's that's crazy to me because I can see people saying, what are you talking about? The land is sacred. That's silly. What are you talking about? Or what do you mean, ancestors? They're gone. And it's man, Like,
that's somebody's culture. That's their heritage.
yeah, I mean, you would like, you know, nobody's gonna like bulldoze over wherever George Washington's laid to rest. Nobody's gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, respect these actual. This is they land. They were the originators of this place. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
I'm actually surprised how much lack of coverage this is getting.
You've hardly seen any of it.
yeah,
Like, and I know it's because of Hillary and Trump and that
That's
insanity,
a piece.
right?
That's a piece.
But you would think that it would. I mean, you have celebrities getting arrested out there,
Yeah.
right?
getting robbed.
Say it again.
Celebrities getting robbed.
Well, that too. You have Jaden. I think was it Jaden
Jaden
and
Smith.
Willow were out there,
Yeah.
right? So you have a lot of celebrities going out there. What's the other guy? Mark Garofalo's been on.
yeah. Okay,
He's
that's what
going hard, like bringing this whole conversation to light. And over the weekend, we was talking about it in here. You saw when the it was almost like the ancestors rolled up, but you had the Native Americans having a standoff with the. Is that the National Guard they have out there right
I
now?
believe so. They have all kind of people, but they got
There's military vehicles out there
yeah.
having standoffs with basically Native Americans on horseback, and it's 2016, right?
Yeah.
And other people who just want to see this land protected and their water supply protected. But the buffalo, did you see that video where the buffalo actually came
That's
up
an
over the
incredible
horizon?
video.
That's an incredible
Crazy,
video.
yeah. That's crazy.
It's interesting though, like what stories become really big. I mean, like the conversation. There's an article like well, I of course am experienced this a lot because I'm a fan of the team. But like this conversation about the name Redskins never ends, right? It's endless.
man.
But then when there's a story here that's a really practical, tangible thing that needs to get dealt with, it doesn't seem like the media is excited about the story. It doesn't involve the business and the NFL and the other pieces. But this is like
it's a real story.
This
These
is
are real
actual
people.
real life. There's people's lives being ruined right now.
I think people don't care though, like just because they just don't have any real experience with like Native folks. Like if you think about it, most people's understanding of Native culture comes from movies not made by Natives. Yeah, like
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are just like, oh yeah, I already know everything I need to know about them. I watched so and so or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Well, do we have a date for this next album?
Yeah, first quarter.
Even though we don't have a title.
No title, but first quarter. It's coming, man. I've been in the studio with everybody, so that's the thing I hate too. Is like we are like 50 songs deep in the studio with so many people. You just don't want to talk about it till it's all solidified. But I've been in the studio with everybody from, Tori Kelly to Killer Mike to Hit Boy to Mike Will. So it's like to Ty Tribbett too. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, man, it's just a big gumbo that we've been cooking and stewing up. I'm ready to unleash it.
I mean, while you have records and people's spirituality has always been covered in hip hop. Like we've had this debate about spirituality and God philosophy in hip hop forever, right? Jesus Walks for Kanye West was a very poignant radio mainstream media moment where even in the song he says that he didn't think radio was going to play the record, right? Because it's about God, right? Or a God philosophy of Jesus, whatever. Now with Chance the Rapper, it kind of feels like you've kind of opened that conversation even a little bit more. I don't know if you take credit for that, but I kind of feel like after your album Anomaly, people and Chance has always been there, right? But I feel like on this album he felt on Coloring Book he could go farther.
Yeah, I think.
And do you and Chance have a relationship?
Yeah, we I mean, you DM back and forth a little bit, but our managers are cool. I liken it to, I think it's just the trajectory of what's happening in hip hop. So like, you gotta think about it from the standpoint of you got the war on drugs and the bravado tough guy hip hop was like prevalent because those were our role models. They killed the MLKs, the Fred Hamptons. So it's kind of like the dudes you look up to are the dealers in the street. So cats who could emulate that and talk about that became the heroes. And then here come the Kanyes who pink polos and Louis bags, and it's kind of like, can we do this? Is this legit? And he's expressing himself freely. And you got the Drakes who express themselves free, and so on and so forth. So now I think it's a thing now where people can just be themselves. They don't have to fit a mold to be a rapper. You know what I mean? So you can just be yourself.
Or just be an artist. Some people don't even rap that well. They just out here making mumbles that sound cool, but we like it. It's a cool melody and stuff.
Yeah, but I think you still got to pay homage to hip hop.
No, it still falls under the hip hop umbrella.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. But so I feel like in terms of my spirituality, I think R&B and gospel, R&B and Christianity always had a marriage. So Anthony Hamilton could stop his show and like make it a slick gospel moment. Whereas hip hop was never connected. Hip hop is from the Northeast. It's the social, not the spiritual kind of. It's kind of like, yeah, that ain't really our thing. You know, it's more militant. And I think they look at Christianity as kind of weak and passive. And so that's not the picture. That's not what I'm about. It's not what I represent. But so now I think, yeah, it's more liberty to like just.
I guess you'd have to have DMX in there too, because DMX will get on that stage and pray.
What? Yeah.
And then somebody will catch a body right after that.
Immediately. Well,
Like,
sometimes the time you have to pray the
literally
most
after
is when you're in the middle of catching a whole bunch of bodies. You feel guilty.
gotta
about it.
pray. You gotta pray.
We gotta pray through this.
And everybody got an uncle
Let's pray on this.
who's locked down for a long time and he come back. And, you know what I mean? So
Lecrae.
Heavy praying with him. Me 44 on his hip, boy, ready to bust off any.
quote
With
the
a Bible,
whole
quoting
scripture.
scriptures,
Quote the
front to
whole
back.
Bible. We all got them family members, man.
During during the BET Hip Hop Awards, you and Big Crit delivered a powerful moment, a powerful speech. What kind of feedback did you get from other artists backstage? Like, what was that energy like?
Man, it was crazy. I ran into everybody like right after that. Snoop was like, "Boy, you said some stuff." You know what I'm saying? It was hello. Everybody showed love. You know, Kendrick. You know, Tip. Everybody. It was like, man, it was a moment. You know, and I didn't know it at the time. Like I was just like, this was something I had penned and how I was feeling, but. You know, the crazy part for me was I had to do it 2 times. So the first time I got up to spit it, it was a standing ovation. Everyone was like, man, it was crazy. And it was like, oh, the lighting was bad. I was like, come on, man. I can't recapture this, but it did work. It worked out.
That's I would have been so frustrated by that.
Oh, man. I don't know.
You still know it?
I don't know if I know it, man. I'm bad at
Did
that.
you read it? Was it on prompter at the time?
No.
You had it memorized. I saw it.
They telling us make America great again. I'm like, hold up. When was America great again? Was it when they took us from our native land, or was it when they took us from took away the natives' land? Let me be quiet. Nah, because being silent is pitiful. It's something I never do. After Philando, man, I'm wondering where was you? They asking your opinion. All you thinking is revenue? Never do. I pray to God he make you a better you. I know. Some of us, we don't know who we are. We content with the gold and the cars. We got low self-esteem, chasing dreams with a goal in our heart. But see, this industry done drove us apart. Look at us from selling dope to our own kind to a dope rhyme. Radio done played it more times, paying more dimes to some industry exec getting checks from a private prison with the rap money he invests now. I know you like, is this rap, is this gospel? But all you need to know is I was dead, now I'm not though. Real recognize real. If they don't love me like Pac, they gonna respect how I'm moving and that I'm never gonna stop. Yeah, that's all, you know.
Bravo. His name is Lecrae. Intro this record. Let's get this new record on for the people.
Yo, this record is you know what I'm saying, it's just the me talking about what I was wrestling through all year, seeing all these people, you know, losing their lives, losing my friends, and just going through you know, some hard times, and just wanted to express it. So this is, you know, just Can't Stop Me Now. It's just something it was really like just something I just had to get off my chest, you know what I'm saying? So Can't Stop Me Now.
And we're going to see you again for this album, first quarter, because we got a lot of ground to cover. So the next time you come back, we might have to throw on one of these premiere beats. You know what I'm saying? So you can,
well, you want to, but he brought his young shooter with him.
I brought a shooter with me.
I don't see why you don't want to.
You want to do it now?
You could do it. When I ain't packing, I bring a shooter these
You know what I'm
days.
saying? So,
you know what I'm saying?
Ebro, are you looking on the computer for a beat?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You gotta get nervous when Ebro starts trying to operate the computer.
I know.
Just feels the whole shit. Shawnee, it's like.
Why y'all acting like this?
Because it's like when mom drives, but dad's the usual driver. Because. All right.
You talk to me.
That's. Don't bring it back. There was no need to do that. There you go.
Well, I didn't know if you guys wanted that one.
He's a shooter. He'll shoot. Andy, have a seat. What are you doing, man?
All right, let's get to it. Andy Mineo, Lecrae.
New York City, what's going on? It's Lecrae. The whole world, matter of fact. It's Lecrae. I got my young dude, Andy Mineo here. And we still rapping in 2016. We're not afraid of old school hip hop beats either, are we?
Wow.
Let's get it.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Look, yeah, check. Yeah. Look, And this is so disrespectful. Hip hop raised me, I'm talking back to my parents. I dropped at Neverland, yo, I still haven't landed. Look, mama, you don't gotta drop it low if you raise your standards. Raising this banner, mama raised me with manners. Could've put me in a box, how I'm raising this brand. It's hard to stay focused with standing in front of cameras, but they don't understand it. They don't see that from my vantage. Glory to the Most High, all that praise be. Got them other rappers sweating like they need the AC. It ain't all about who you know, cause Bleak knew Jay-Z. If you ain't hot 9-7, bad idea trying to play me. I know dudes with so much money that it ain't funny. Type of money make you laugh at jokes when it ain't funny. Type of money go outside looking bummy, still bag a supermodel. They don't care if he ugly. It's politics in this game, but ain't no politicians. And I ain't trying to be another one of fame's victims. Make it lame for myself and never make a difference. Nah, that's all I gotta say. I roof your ball, I don't wanna play. And this is so disrespectful.
Shawnee, that's not good. Mixes that. We got Andy Mineo here, DJ Shawnee Culture, aka DJ Hate the People.
Yeah, man.
Yo, good stuff, bro. Yo, Andy, where in New York are you from?
He's in Wash Heights.
I live uptown.
Oh, you live in the Heights?
Yeah.
All right, you Dominican?
No,
Puerto Rican?
but my wife is.
Your wife is?
My wife is Puerto Rican.
What are you?
Paisan.
Well, Mineo could have gone so many
right?
ways.
Yo,
Paisan.
I love how you sound on Anomaly, and now I'm gonna go. I didn't even know what to go look for, but I didn't even, and I didn't know you was from New York.
Oh,
Dope.
yeah, it was lit. I use my secret weapon every time I come here to do shows. I pull that boy out on stage. Urban Plaza explodes. Best Buy Theater explodes.
Wait, so Andy, you got your own project we should go look for too?
Yeah.
What's that
Talk to
about?
Mike.
Talk to me.
Yeah, so that record, Uncomfortable, it was executive produced by Illmind.
Love it.
John Bellion on there, a lot of homies. So it's kind of like I think the 116 thing is kind of like a quiet movement that just kind of, you know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people know about, but the people that do are rabid. And, you know, so we got a lot of records, a lot of albums out. We sold a lot of records. And
Rosenberg, you up on this John Bellion kid?
Not particularly.
You need to be on this John
Yeah,
Bellion
you do.
kid. This kid from Long Island, songwriter, producer, singer, makes pop records, spits bars.
Yep.
The artwork on his album's crazy. He went and got one of the Pixar artists, paid out of his own pocket to do the album cover. Like, lit.
Dope.
Next level lit.
So, and this project with him on it as well is out right now.
yeah, it's called Uncomfortable.
All right,
It's out.
dope.
Yeah.
Go get it. He's working too. We all
Plenty
working.
of new stuff on the way.
Yeah.
And Lecrae, we're gonna see you again soon.
Yeah, we coming back.
All right, man. Always good to see you,
Yeah,
bro.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.